Greetings. Welcome to Safe Space Talks Mind Mastery. I'm your host. I'm Nigeria Anderson. Hey guys, listen, yesterday was my birthday, so I'll be real quick today because I'm a little tired hanging out with my sister. But I wanted to come in and talk about avoidant behavior. Now, avoidant behavior refers to actions taken to prevent or minimize exposure to situations, thoughts, or emotions that cause discomfort or anxiety. This can manifest in various ways, including avoiding social interactions, certain environments, or even distressing thoughts and memories. Someone who passed away, blah, 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 things, all of that. There is one behavior that caught my attention that I can't wait to talk about because as humans, we are wired to move towards pleasure and avoid pain and discomfort. As humans, we are wired to move towards our flesh, things we like, and avoid pain. That's why the New Year's resolution to lose weight is out of the window in 2 months. It's not the lack of endurance, and it's not that you really don't want to lose weight. And for the most part, again, we rather keep the pleasures of eating the snacks, foods, okay, than to curb our appetite and work out. Now, here's a question. You can put the answer in the chat if you know it, because we're a smart team here, and all you guys who watch, you guys are wonderful. Those who've been with us for a while at Safe Space Talks My Mastery, we got codes, we got language. So, can going to the gym be connected to avoidant behavior? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. Trying to, communicate with you guys. The answer is boom, 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 yes. Avoiding the gym can be a manifestation of feared avoidant behavior, particularly when stemming from anxiety or fear of being observed or negatively evaluated. You're in the gym trying to work out and you don't want no one watching you. And so that causes some discomfort, or you don't have the latest gym clothes and or all that stuff, right? Trying to look like you go to the gym. So since you don't have all the gear, sometimes maybe that can interrupt you going because you want to be like, hey, look, I go to the gym. Now, remember, as I always say here, as they say, Sucks My Mastery, not everything is a mental health condition. And this is why I love doing this show because, I love explaining how we're wired, what can lead to a mental health condition, and what you may just need to tweak a little bit. So avoidance is a part of life. Okay. It just is. There are times when you avoid people, places, or things, like I like to say here on Safe Space Talks, nouns, because you already know the situation is not going to turn out for your good. So you avoid going. I mean, you have a mental health condition, you just don't feel like going because you understand what that entails. Okay. But if certain behaviors are hindering you from personal growth, you may find it helpful to determine why, right? We have to always understand our why. Why are you avoiding certain nouns, people, places, things? And choose some strategies to try to address them and take action to overcome them. Okay, by determining your specific avoidance behaviors, you can better address them and then be more proactive. And then you can choose some strategies to address them and take action to overcome them. We are overcomers here. By determining your specific avoidance behaviors, you can better address the situation and be non avoidant. Awareness is key as being the first step to this process. Like we say here at Safe Space Talks Mind Mastery, if you have symptoms which go on frequently and are unchecked, it may lead to a mental health condition. Okay, so there is a mental health condition titled AVPD, which is avoidant personality disorder, which is a mental health condition that involves chronic feelings, right? Chronic, continuously, chronic feeling of inadequacy and extreme sensitivity to criticism. People with AVPD would like to interact with others, but they tend to avoid, remember, the social interactions due to the intense fear of rejection, right? You don't have the gym cool outfits, you don't have the things that you want to bring and look like everybody else. Pause, put a pin there, stop trying to look like everybody else. But I just wanted to touch on today, we're just going to touch on behaviors, which brings me to substitution avoidance. So that's like replacing feared activities with less anxiety. You want to do things within your comfort zone only. You know, we ask you to do something different. You know, that coworker who this is all what they do. This what they do. You dare ask them to use something, another machine, or touch another button, and they'll just trip out and be like, no, no, I can't do that. That's not my job description. Right? And they go into avoiding doing whatever it is you may have asked of them. So, be aware of that. So here, what I'm saying to you is like, these things that you may see in other people, again, it may be a mental health condition or they just don't want to do the work. See what I'm saying? So you might hear some people um, substitute it as procrastination. You hear them say, "I don't feel like it," or "I can't," without even trying. They just go, "I can't do it. I can't do it." They are avoiding trying to do this. They're avoiding completing the task or trying to do the task. And again, if it's continually done, it may be avoidant behavior. So let me share some of my thoughts. Avoiding something, again, as I mentioned, is you not wanting to, you don't feel like doing it, or when you do it, it's causing you discomfort. And so because it causes you discomfort, you avoid doing it. Avoidant behaviors can be attached to sabotaging thoughts, right? You feel like, well, if I do it, what if I don't do it right? Um, you understand that those are that sabotaging thoughts. Example, the haunting one of I'm not good enough. That's another sabotaging thought that may cause you to avoid doing something, right? But then all the fear tactics start kicking in, and then you're like, I'm not going to be able to do it, right? So you got to be mindful. So remember the why. So why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that you're not good enough? Who told you that? I feel like when God was in the garden and he asking Adam, who told you you was naked? Right? Who told you that lie that you now believe? And those who have low self-esteem, my goodness, you may fall victim to this. You may fall victim to avoiding achieving your goals and doing things that you need to do to better your health, to better your mind space, to just better your relationships. Because who told you that? Right? So when I always say this, when your mind is not right, nothing is right. Mostly everything we fear, then we resist. So if we fear becoming an entrepreneur, we'll resist. We'll talk big. Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to do this. I want to do that. But secretly, you are resisting what it takes to partake in becoming an entrepreneur. So now you don't do the work, right? You're good at maybe doing something, but you're not good at putting all the pieces together. And then if you get one thing wrong or it feels too challenging, guess what you're going to do? You're going to avoid doing it. And guess what you're not going to be? Okay, an entrepreneur. All right, so you have to make sure um, you're putting in the work. You have to put in the work because let me tell you, fear and anxiety is trauma specialty. When you've had a traumatic experience, fear and anxiety are cousins. They double team you, and then you're just like, oh my goodness. And especially again when it's unchecked and it continually happens and then it's uncontrollable and then you need to see a therapist, you need to see a counselor, you need to be proactive of addressing that trauma situation. Okay. Trauma places our thoughts into a protective comfort or safety mode, right? Fight, flight, freeze. Things we once did with ease may now be challenging. But the good news is once you overcome these fears, success is right around the corner waiting for you. But you gotta not avoid the help. You can't avoid doing what you need to do. You have to put in the work. Now, there's so many testimonials of people who've gone through a horrific traumatic experience. I am one, and turned it into something great. You might hear people say it was the worst day of my life, but also the best day of my life because what it did was it woke up something inside of you that you had no clue was there. God wired us so perfectly. Like, you know, trauma can push you or thrust you into your purpose and peace, or it can be very daunting. It can be very heavy. It can be something you just ain't never experienced before. But let me be clear, you have a choice. Now, don't get me wrong, the recovery journey is not easy. And yes, many symptoms and behaviors are attached to, you know, um, trying to overcome one step at a time, one step at a time. There's a goal, you must put it in place if you want to be successful. This is why Safe Space Talks by Mastery. We want you to know, keep at it. Keep at it until you get understanding that you're in emotional distress and that these are some things you have to do if you want to change. But you have to have the will, you have to be willing. Y'all know I like to say that. You have to be willing to change. You have to have the will to change. You know, it can make you tough. Going through a traumatic experience and coming out on the other side, you get your thick skin together and things don't bother you too much. You're like, yeah, okay. So, I just want you to know that there is a transition that will happen from your trauma. There is a transition that can happen from your trauma, and you don't have to suffer in fear and anxiety. It will not be for the rest of your life if you put in the work. Again, the process is not 1, 2, 3, I'm free. It is a real fight for your life. And to live life more abundantly, you're going to have to put in the work. So, of signs of avoidant behavior. Um, Not only will it stop from, let's go back to the gym, okay? Not only will avoiding behavior stop you from achieving your goals, example, going to the gym, it will prevent you from writing the book. See, you were supposed to be writing that book. You are avoiding it, uh, avoiding the film that you're supposed to write, avoiding uh, going to going for the promotion at your job. You know you're equipped, you know you're smart, you know you can do this, like not looking, launching your dream business. You have the ideas, you have the concept, you are able to do it, but you avoid doing it because of fear and anxiety. Other signs may include social isolation, substance abuse. So remember, I told you, you asking your friend, come on, let's hang out. If they're constantly saying, no, 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 you know, that's your people. You're gonna have to say, listen, you okay? Every time I ask you, you say you okay. Every time I ask you, do you want to go out or go to somebody's event or whatever, you're always saying no. Is everything okay? Did I do anything? Whatever, blah blah blah. Try to second and third level questions. Um, Substance abuse. That friend who smoked weed every day, is talking about how they gonna do A, B, and C, and they ain't did nothing. They haven't done nothing. Oh no, no, no. I'm telling you, I know some people like that, right? Just get high all the time, talking about their dreams, and never put not one foot, and they definitely not putting their money to it because that's their weed money. And then so they can't invest in themselves because they invested in their substance abuse. People who avoid eye contact. That may be signs of people who are showing avoiding behavior. Individuals with avoiding behavior may also struggle with decision making. So what you want to eat? I don't know. So what you think you're gonna do about? I don't know. They don't have an answer for not too much. It's such and such. You're just like, Uh, is anything you're gonna do? Now again, this don't mean much, but signs. We're talking about signs, which means when you're not able to make decisions, that means you're not prepared. So here are some suggestions. Ask yourself, what is the holdup? Why, when you want to move forward, what are those thoughts? What's stopping you? Right? And then I want you to journal your thoughts. Journal those thoughts so you can find out the reason, right? So I want to do A, B, and C, and then you get ready to do it. Of course, yes. What distracted you? Because it could be innocent things. You may have a child, a pet, a spouse, school, and just when you want to do something, one of those things may cause a distraction. And it's okay. You're just going to have to put things in perspective. Okay. So you're going to write it in your journal. Yeah. Homework today, guys. Yeah. My birthday was yesterday. Homework today. Homework today. Um, just journal. You don't have to try to figure it out. Just journal in the book. I was getting ready to do A, B, and C towards this goal, and then I ended up doing what? I guarantee it was something that just made you feel more comfortable. I'm sure it was something even you, because y'all know I'm not, y'all know how I go here at Safe Space Talks. For the new people who are watching, I'm sorry, but welcome to the club. It's sometimes you, okay? It's sometimes you now. So now you're going to journal, and there's no judgment here. I've been there, done it. So, no judgment. When you're ready, you journal. I was going to do this. This distracted me, or I started doing this. You don't have to address it. You're just writing your thoughts down. You're writing it down, Okay. Once you do that, now you're aware that this is happening. Ta-da! You can seek therapy or counseling, but at least you now have a foundation to stand on. Begin building your confidence, right? Once you start getting laying down that foundation to stand on, now you're building up your confidence. And the key with journaling, which I so enjoy and I still do, I love it, is that when you get the courage or time and you go back and read it, you get to see that scary thing. It was so small, and you made it so big in your mind, and at that time it's scary, it was big, but when you go back and you read it, for some, not for all, for me, I get to see where I can pivot, where I can change or remove the nouns from my life. Okay, so it's important. I swear by journaling. I do. Um, you have to approach this matter. For me, like I said, it's journaling. I don't know what may work for you. I can only talk about me, but the key is if you don't know what works for you, that you seek therapy or counseling. However, you have to address it. If in your mind you think it's too hard, well, guess what it's going to be? It's going to be too hard. But if you address the matter of avoidance, one reason you may see why you avoid it, then boom, you can address it and then you get through it. You can address it and then you get through it one by one by one. Um, like I said, after the 2 months, many people just leave the gym due to the lies they told themselves, or they didn't want to complete the task. So they heard on TV, oh, I did this exercise and I lost weight in 10 days. And, oh, I got this six pack in 5 days if you use this supplement, right? So people join the gym and after 2 weeks, they don't see no results. This, and they start saying to themselves, this don't work. And once you say this don't work, guess what? It's not going to work. You going to the gym because you want, we in this 1, 2, 3, I'm good. I got my six pack in 5 days. I used this and it worked. And now you spending $200 and $300 on something that don't work. It's a placebo. And then you got your money and you're not seeing no results. And they lied to you. Just sharing for mature audience only. Mature audience only, because I'm going to tell you, they lied to you. They lied. Okay. And then what are they doing now? They're running the surgery for the shortcut. So now you spent the first 400, 500 on the supplement that didn't work. Now you're trying to do the shortcut and have surgery. And now you're in pain and, just putting yourself through so much when if you just address the issue, be consistent, you'll transition your position. I said you will transition your position for better. And this is why avoidant behavior is detrimental to your success. You will not ever, ever, ever be successful if you constantly avoiding doing what you need to do. Just saying. And it is said to overcome avoidant behavior, focus on a joyful moment. So let's keep sticking with the gym. You went to the gym, you was working on your arms, and now you see a little, whoa, snap. Okay, my arms is looking good. And now that was a positive result. And remember that feeling, how you felt good seeing your arms. So now leg day. Then you work on your legs. And then it's not going to be in 3 days or 5 days. Okay. And then you see the results And it's one thing at a time. And then boom, you'll see results. And then now you know that it takes some time, but the results will come. Okay. So you're going to have to be willing, you're going to have to be wanting to address the matter. Okay. And know that it's possible. And stop telling yourself you cannot do it, because you can. Okay, you just remember, let's write it. Let's write our emotions down when we feel like, I got to get ready to write the book. And then all of a sudden, all these things come into play. You have to say to yourself, no, when I'm ready to do this, I have to put this aside. We are on the last leg of this. All right, let's go. All right. So, being prepared will help you. So when you journal and you realize what is not working, and then you put in place what you need to do, and then you do it small steps at a time, right? You have to be prepared. Now, I'm no doctor. I'm no doctor. I'm talking from personal experience, and y'all see how I'm rocking and rolling. Okay. I'm going to share with you what worked for me. That's the only thing I could do. One of the key things to do to not avoid doing what you need to do is write it down. Now, the night before, write one or two things down that you have been avoiding. Yeah, homeworks, guys. I haven't given y'all homework in a no. Yeah, each season I give you a homework. So yeah. All right. So the night before, you write down one thing that you have been avoiding. Write down what you have been avoiding. You want to write your book, but every time you think about it, what are the thoughts? Like, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. Oh, I got to go pick up so and so. Oh, I promise. Right? Write that down. The next day, that's day one. Day two, the next day, write down the two things you are able to do towards the goal. Let's say the book, right? So get the 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 photos or the colors, or write one draft page today. Day three, do one of the two things that you haven't done. Okay, so I told you, write two things. One, do the night before, write down what you need to do tomorrow. Do one of the two things. And then the next day, double check to make sure, hold yourself accountable. Did I do what I said I was going to do? Did I do it? Now, if you didn't do it, this is not panic. This is no shame. This is no judgment. You write down why you didn't do it. Write your thoughts. I was tired. Um, I had to go pick up something. I went to the laundry. I did whatever it is, write it down. These steps, these are step by step, line upon line, right? I'm going to help y'all. I'm going to help y'all. Then you do the second thing, because maybe you did the first thing or you didn't do the first thing. We're moving on, honey. We got to move. We got to keep it moving. Y'all know I like saying that, keep it moving. So now you're going to do the second task. Even though you didn't do the first task, do the second task. And then the next day, you check to see how many tasks you got done. Did you get the two tasks done, or you only got one task done? And I always encourage you to put 1 hour to 2 hours aside to do this. You have to prepare. You have to prepare. So 1 to 2 hours. So now you have to schedule that in, and then you can't let anyone interrupt that. Okay. You have to do it. And if you keep trying and you keep seeing you going back to your comfort zone, then you got to figure out, again, we know we're going to therapy and counseling, but these are just some tools for you to use um, on your own to see, you know, are you willing? You have to know this. It's like an actor or actress. You think we see them a few, was it an hour? We see them a few hours on the screen, but honey, they had to get prepared. They had to read their lines. They had to come to rehearsal, and we just see the end result. And that's what's wrong with everybody. Y'all keep seeing the end result, but y'all don't see all the work. Child, all the work it had to go. You had to go through. So, in your comfort zone, you can say to yourself, "Okay, I'm here. This is as far as I get, right? And then how do I get over the hump?" If you need some help, you can email me at safespacetalks@gmail.com. We good over here. We'll help you out. But you have to get started and not avoid the task. You can get still, you can meditate for the first 5 minutes of the hour. You can, do some jumping jacks. You get the you people who know. You got to do some jumping jacks, some push-ups, some knee highs, get your adrenaline going, and, writing your book, start getting what you need, inform yourself. Everybody got these phones, set a timer, right? Okay, boom, 1 hour, hour and a half, or 2 hours. You set that timer, you get to work. And this will prompt you. These are just prompting tools I'm giving you. There's no fear attached, because at the end of the day, I like to say, either you're going to do it or you're not. It is just, that's our makeup. So I want you to put those things in, because preparedness is key. Most people avoid doing things simply because they're not prepared. And so that's why I said write it down. When you are not prepared, of course, fear and anxiety is going to show up. That's for anyone. That's not even like, when you're not prepared, you're just not prepared. And when you are prepared, then you have mental clarity and you're motivated, you're moving out confusion. When you are prepared, you move through your day well. You are on schedule, you're able to keep your schedule, you're able to say no, right? I'm unable to help you today. I'm not available to help you today, right? No. Right? Being prepared keeps you focused on what is important for you. What's important for you? Let me tell you something. I'm over here like, listen, you have to do what's important for you. When when you don't do that, that's when you become overwhelmed. That's when life is getting away from you, so to speak. That's when chaos and confusion enters in. But if you prepare yourself, you're less resistant to not accomplish your goals. Being prepared will help you make life manageable. This is why you don't have to feel um, anxious or in fear. Listen, that's my time. Thank you for listening. As we say, we're here every Wednesday. I didn't even put that there. I didn't put it. But we're here every Wednesday at 12 noon, 12 Eastern time. And I hope that helped you out. And I will see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. I love me some y'all. Listen, pay attention to what you're avoiding today. Don't avoid not eating right. Pick a day. Pick a clean day, right? Pick a day where you'll say, I'm going to eat clean today. Pick a day. Leg day, arm day, gut day. And don't avoid